Good day, everyone. Today we will discuss the nature of communication. To start, let us define first what is communication. It is the process of sharing and conveying messages or information from one person to another within and across context, channels, cultures, and media. Webster also defines communication as the process by which information is exchanged between individuals through symbols, signs, or behavior. So communication can also be manifested in many ways. It can be a group discussion, a face-to-face interaction, a meeting, a phone call conversation, an interview, a class recitation, and so on. So now let us identify the factors and nature of communication that influence the transmission and exchange of our messages. Number one nature of communication is it is a process. So communication as a process denotes a step-by-step activity that requires the active participation of both sender and receiver. So the process is circular. It starts with the sender communicating to the receiver, and then the receiver provides feedback to the sender. Communication is also a dynamic and a complex process. Why? Because communication can be influenced by the communicator's mood and thinking. It is a complex process because one message can be interpreted in many ways by different people. For example, I have 50 students and I am discussing, explaining the nature of communication. So as a teacher, I will receive 50 different opinions or understanding of the lesson. So that is why it is important to seek for clarification called feedback. The second nature of communication is it occurs between two or more people. So communication happens when two or more people acts as the message receiver and speaker. So a sender and a receiver are involved in communication. So it is a two-way mutual understanding process in which participants not only exchange information, ideas, or feelings, but they also create or share meaning with each other. So communication in general is a means of connecting people or places. The third and last nature of communication is it can be expressed through words, actions, or both at the same time. So when we exchange information with others or we send information to others, we do it in two ways. So we either use words to say what we want to say, or we express ourselves through gestures and facial expressions. So it means that communication can be either verbal or nonverbal. So what is verbal communication? It is an interaction in which words are used to relay a message. Verbal communication can be spoken or written communication as long as it uses words. In engaging in this type of communication, we have to consider the following. First is appropriateness. The language we use should be appropriate to the occasion or to the environment where we are communicating. Next is brevity. We have to make use of words that are simple yet accurate and powerful. We have to make our points also more direct, and we have to avoid fillers and unnecessary expressions. We also have clarity. So to avoid misinterpretation, we have to make sure that we express our ideas and feelings clearly when we are stating our message. Then we have ethics. So we are different from one another, so we have to be careful and considerate. In choosing our words, we have to consider our differences. It may be our gender, our status, our preferences, and so on. Last but definitely not the least is vividness. So in communicating, we have to describe things, our ideas, vividly or creatively, for it adds color and spice to the message. Of course, we always want to make our audience engage in the conversation. So we have to consider vividness in verbal communication. In contrary, we have the nonverbal communication. It is a form of interaction in which all the participants or the communicators use their behavior. So all kinds of human responses that are not articulated through words are classified as nonverbal. So here are some of the reasons why we have to master this type of communication. Number one, it emphasizes and improves the message of our speech. Next, without saying a word, it can communicate your perceptions and feelings. Third, it helps in sustaining the attention of listeners, thus keeping them engaged because we use our gestures. Fourth, it builds connections with our target audience. Fifth, it provides a channel to release nervousness and tension. Six, it gives the listeners a preview of the type of speaker you are. So through nonverbal communication, the audience can identify what kind of speaker we are. Seven, it gives our delivery a more dynamic and animated appearance. Eight, it helps in making your speech remarkable. Nine, it helps you avoid a monotonous delivery and differ your speaking style. 10, it makes you a plausible or a credible speaker. So again, for the third nature of communication, we have nonverbal and verbal communication. So these are my references. Thank you for listening. Keep on learning, students.